You got to give these a try. It's salmon wrapped with bacon. But first we put a glaze on there, a bit of sauce, put them in the smoker. Wow, that is just a little bit of wonderful right there. Hey, welcome to Barbecue Plus. Today we are going to make up some bacon wrapped salmon. So this is going to be a great little appetizer, and this is exactly how we're going to do it. So the first thing is we've got some sockeye salmon, and it came in a package from Costco. We really like these because you can pull out a portion at a time, and I just pulled out a couple of these portions that looked fairly uniform in size and fairly thick. And the first thing that we're going to do is remove the skin. So I'm using a big Bubba blade today. This is a fillet knife. One of the things about a fillet knife is it's nice and limber, so that way you can get right along that skin and cut all the flesh off of the skin. So we're gonna get this started over in the corner and see how my fillet skills are. Oh, not bad. I got a 50% on that one. So I guess we're going to start from this corner, get underneath there, and see if we can get the rest of it. There we go. I think we did a pretty good job on that. So the idea is we don't want to have any of the skin left on here because we're going to eat everything in there. It's going to be wrapped up in bacon. Number two, hey, that looks a little bit better. Still had a little bit of cleanup to do, but that's okay. Now we're gonna take this salmon and cut them into pieces. We probably want them around 1 inch in size, so I think I'll probably get 3 out of these. Taking a look at this side, I want to make sure that it's about the size of a strip of bacon, because that's what we're gonna wrap around there. I think that looks pretty good. Perfect. I think those are looking great. We're going to push those aside for right now. And what we're going to do is make a nice little marinade to put on here. This marinade is going to be made primarily out of Asian type ingredients. So what we're going to start with is 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Then we've got 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. We have got 2 tablespoons of teriyaki. And a favorite of mine is this Bachan's Japanese barbecue sauce, and I've got a tablespoon of that as well. So we're just going to mix that up a little bit, and we're going to take our salmon and put that into a baking dish. I want to make sure that none of the pieces are touching as much as possible. Kind of spread them out in there. And we've got a pastry brush with that sauce on it. We're just gonna make sure we coat everything in there. Kind of splash it around in there. We're gonna move these around so they get coated all the way around. We'll just pour the rest of it in there and just kind of move those around a little bit. You also might choose to put this inside of a baggie, like a plastic gallon bag, a Ziploc bag, and then you can kind of move it around in there also in your refrigerator. So these guys are going in the refrigerator covered for probably about an hour or so. Pull them out and we're going to put them onto the smoker at that point. And now it's time for the next step. So those are looking pretty wonderful. Rolled them around a couple of times while they were in there, just to make sure everything got coated. And we've got just some regular bacon, don't have the thick cut because it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get this bacon all the way rendered out without overcooking that salmon. And if you know me, there's nothing worse to me than overcooked salmon. Gonna slice this open. And I'm gonna pull out probably 3 strips or so of bacon. And I think we'll probably end up cutting these in quarters. So 3 strips of bacon cut in quarters is gonna allow us to wrap up about a dozen of those. So now all we need to do is take a piece of that bacon, wrap it around there. You don't want to go too tight. And the reason for that is because this bacon's going to shrink up a little bit as it renders. We're just going to hold it together there with a toothpick. There's our second one. If you've got some pieces that are a little thinner and you got some bacon that's a little bit thinner, hey, match them up together. Take the really big, thick pieces and put it around the biggest chunk of salmon. All right, so those are all done. We've got them all skewered. We've got the bacon around them. And the last step before we put them on the smoker is to put a little glaze on them. So this is about 3 tablespoons of honey and about a tablespoon of that Bachan's Japanese barbecue sauce. Really like the taste of that. This is gonna add a lot of sweetness to it. We're just gonna dab a little bit on the top. I don't want too much on there because I don't want this to burn. What we're trying to do is just cook that salmon. Got the smoker set on about 225, which is my favorite temperature for a smoker to run at. We're just using a small Green Mountain pellet smoker today. Probably gonna dab a little bit more of this on as the cook goes. And we're also gonna put a little bit of rub just kind of sprinkled onto the top also. Give it just a little bit of a kick to it. I'm pretty excited about this. Let's go outside and put them on the smoker. We've got our little Green Mountain Davy Crockett. And we've got this set on 225 degrees. Got some nice smoke going. So we're gonna load both of these trays in. There we go. That is looking pretty wonderful. So we're gonna give this a little bit of time. Come back and check in on these. Okay, checking in on these. What do we got for temperatures? We're running a little over 100 degrees. What do we got there? About 112. I usually like to cook my salmon up to about 118 degrees, but that ends up being just past sushi. This I think we want to have a little bit more cooked. We want to render out that bacon, and I've got a special little trick for that. So we're going to let these go till about 130 degrees before we remove them. Put on a little bit more of that glaze and then used an all-purpose rub to be able to add a little bit of spice to that. Gonna let them finish up cooking here, then we're gonna add a little bit of magic fire to finish it off. So we're using a propane torch to be able to render out that bacon. That's also gonna melt a little bit of that honey glaze on there. Looks like we're starting some toothpicks on fire as well. But this will finish off that bacon without overcooking the salmon, and we'll take them inside, let them cool a little bit, and give them a try. All right, so we just brought these in from the smoker. They are looking pretty wonderful. We did use a torch at the end, just a butane torch. It's handy to start fires, to be able to get your offset smoker going, to be able to get your charcoal grill going, or to finish off rendering some bacon. We didn't want to overcook the salmon, but if we wanted to render out that bacon, we would need to run it like 350 degrees. The salmon would probably be destroyed at that point. So that's why we use the torch at the end. But isn't that looking pretty wonderful? Just have some little nubs of those toothpicks because they started on fire, but we're gonna give this a try. Really good. The salmon taste to that is really great. The bacon on there adds a savory nature to it. Got the sweetness on from that honey glaze that we put on, as well as I can even taste a little bit of that soy and the barbecue sauce that we both put on the glaze as well as marinated. So that came through a couple of different ways, and this is pretty good. If you like seafood, if you like bacon, this is something you should try. I like doing these kind of different things, something off the wall. And if you like this, and you like the things that we're doing here, I'd hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the notifications. Give me your ideas, give me your thoughts. Throw a comment down below, hit a like, share it with a friend. And the most important thing is, go cook something great in your backyard this weekend. And from BBQ Plus, thanks for watching.